obviously we're here to bask in the celebration of Rebirth and how well it's been doing. But we're already hard at work on the next big thing, and that's Suicide Squad versus Justice League. That's our next big thing. That's going to debut December, running through January. It's written by Josh Williamson, drawn by Jay Fabak, and that's going to basically launch or set the platform for a bunch of new books to spin out of it in February. So a lot of amazing things.
Yeah, we've got that second wave of Rebirth coming in, and I think a lot of people thought it was going to be a lot more books, a lot more material, but the reality is we're being very judicious about what we roll out to support Rebirth. I think we've built some real value in the name, and we want to make sure we have the right books coming out in conjunction with us. Also, things are working so well, there's no need to start creating new material. We really want to give everything that we launched with as much room to breathe. Remember, we launched over a 4-month period of time, so some books are further along than others, so we want to make sure everything has a chance to really establish itself. So coming out of the Suicide Squad Justice League, you're going to see a number of specials featuring characters like Vixen and the Atom and such. And what's great about that is that they're going to help us set us off into a new Justice League of America series that's being written by Steve Orlando and drawn by Ivan Rice. I'm also very happy to see the Super Sons book finally coming on. It's one of my personal favorites, and we wanted to get it right, so we gave it a little extra time to get for the team to really build the right story. And the writer on that book is Pete Tomasi, who's doing such a brilliant job on Superman that it only made sense for him to write that book because he's doing beautiful work with Jonathan, and he wrote Damian for so many years in the Batman and Robin book. So perfect guy for it. Jorge Jimenez's art is spectacular. He's been doing some beautiful work on the Superman books, and now this is going to be his series. I think he's going to really shine there. And then lastly, and honestly most important, Batwoman's got her own series again. That's another one that was on the cusp, but we knew we wanted to do it. But they had such great plans for it in the detective books, and James Tynion and Marguerite Bennett are going to be launching this new series, and we wanted to give her a chance to establish herself in detective, which she did, and now it feels the perfect time for her to have her own book again.
Like anything we should be checking our watches for, like watching, like who's watching or watches, or anything you want to say about that with Rebirth? And
there's going to be places where there's going to be more hits being dropped. Naturally, a lot's going to be centering around.
We're talking about Watchmen.
I didn't. Oh, I'm sorry. This is something totally different. Then I'm sorry.
Just in case everyone didn't get.
Okay.
You guys are dense.
I tell you what. Like I said, it was a rough night last night. What I was going to say is that. Naturally, characters like Batman and Flash will probably be the first ones to start experiencing certain things in there, but we will be hearing more about it. I think with Adam coming back, there might be some talk around Adam as well. So there's some fun character moments that, like I said, we started a story with the DC Universe Rebirth special, and that thing is basically something we had mapped out for about 2 years worth of story, so it's going to be unfolding nice and slow. I mean, our main goal with Rebirth at the start was to reestablish our characters, reestablish who they are, what they stood for, reestablish their connection to the fans, to what they remember them to be, get that base really built strong, and from there, we're going to launch. I think the Justice League Suicide Squad story I consider our launch pad into the stories to come.
All right, at San Diego, we talked a little about Lois Lane and Superwoman. Now, when we saw the covers for Superwoman, we saw Lois Lane and everything like that, and then the first issue happened. I don't want to believe what happened. I don't know if you guys want to talk about anything of that, or is it just like, just deal with it?
I can do it. Yeah. Listen, that was planned right from the start. And, and there's a lot of mystery about the Superman franchise because we had a version of Superman that was there, then we brought a new version in, and they were coexisting, and there was 2 Lois Lanes and such. But there is a big story that takes place in the Superman books that reconciles so much of what you're talking about, including Lois Lane's role in that story.
So just wait and see.
Yes, that's the fun part. I know everybody's impatient these days, but I think that, we're in a periodical business, and our goal is to make people come back week after week, month after month to our books. And the double ships deliver stories faster, but we also know there's a certain pace that we have to maintain as well. But we don't want to leave these things hanging too long, but we want to make sure that we build them up properly so they have the real impact when they hit. You don't want to just hit a story and then move on. You want to be able to really examine it, explore it, and take it apart and put it back together and get all the richness of it and tease that audience so that when it comes in, it's a much more fulfilling experience when the story is fully told.
Any last thing you want to say? Wonder Woman, bunch new stamps, really cool.
It's not just about the stamps. It's the 75th anniversary of Wonder Woman. It's a real celebration for this character, and it's interesting. people keep asking us the question, wow, how's it feel for this character, for people to finally take notice of Wonder Woman? I'm like, I don't know about you, we've known she's been here for 75 years. We've been celebrating since she was her creation at DC. And the reality for us is that the fact that everybody else is getting aware, that's wonderful, but this has been a strong, vibrant character for us for so long, and I just think she's going to get even bigger and stronger. And we've always considered it that important part of the trinity of characters that really lead the company. And I think this is her year, and I think every year after this will be her year too.